Welcome back, everybody, to the Fifth Line Podcast. We are back for week number 12. And
we've been doing it.
We've been doing it. 12. 12. Actually,
Wow.
It's week 12, episode 12. And we've all been here except for Eric, missed a couple, but yeah.
Yep.
Which is 3 months, boys.
Yeah.
Damn. Better than the 2 and then 2 years and then 2 more and then yeah.
We definitely
I've had enough.
Oh, and Nick wants out. Nick's like, I'm gonna watch football, boys. We can't record on Sundays.
Football's gonna be done in a couple of weeks anyway, so
It is.
My pick for who's winning right now with Bills?
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
The Bills last I checked were down. I don't know what the score is because it's on my TV, but
well, at work we do weekly picks. I think did I tell you guys about this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I picked Bucks and I picked
They
Bills,
won.
so I'm hoping for Bills.
the Bills were
it's-
down.
For the comeback.
It's halftime right. It's halftime right now, and Kansas City Chiefs are up 21-12. So they
that's
can
not
do
good.
it still. They can do it still.
Yeah.
There's still a whole half.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll have
But
to.
actually, it won't
we'll
matter
see.
because everybody in our pool picked Bills, and I was the only one that picked Bucks. So I'll be doing better no matter what.
True. That's true. Yep. But the NWHL guys, their season started yesterday. I don't know if any of you were able to catch. I know Eric wasn't able to, but Ben, were you able to catch any?
I watched a bit of the Toronto 6 Riveters game, which I think was
Okay.
the first one
I think so.
of the whole tournament. And I was just playing some NHL on my Xbox, and I was scrolling through Twitter, and I just saw one of the Twitch links just advertised for a second. I was like, oh yeah, shit, that starts today. And I just watched a good chunk of the game, and it was fun hockey. I can't say I really paid a ton of attention, but it was just there, and I was enjoying it. I was having a good time. But other than that, I have not watched any yet.
I wanted to be able to talk with authority, so I watched the entire Toronto 6 game today. And
Oh my goodness.
days. I don't know if it was, I think it was different yesterday from what I was reading in the chat, but there had to be 10 minutes of 5-on-5 play in the entire game.
That many penalties?
There were
Jeez.
one team at one point, I don't know if it was towards the end, I don't think it was, but one team had 8 had 8 power plays.
Ooh.
And it was pretty
But,
even. So the
that's
other team didn't
also-
have much less.
That's also been the Habs' last 3 games against Vancouver, and we'll get to that. But
That's, oh my God, yeah. But I don't. There was just so many penalties, and there was a bunch of different things that happened where I was like, wait, that's not how it works. But I think it might just be rule differences.
there are some.
Yeah, there were a lot of body checking penalties, which I understand, but at the same time, they're all.
It is a rule, but also as somebody who covered a women's hockey team for 3 seasons, the selective way it's called is very strange.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. 'Cause I would see-
It's very strange because they'll let sort of half hits in scrums go, but if you just do a clear out check, then yeah, you get. I don't know. It's weird, but
I say just
yeah,
let it go.
I don't understand why checking isn't allowed. Anyway,
Yeah, it's not like there's it's like a co-ed league and there's
there's not a
there's somebody
250-pound
huge.
man hitting a 5'9" woman
Exactly
into
yeah.
the corner boards where
they're
it
all
would be
pretty
dangerous.
they're all pretty much the same size from what I could tell. But the standings are as thus: the Riveters are up top; they are 2-0. The Minnesota, what was their thing? It was Whitecaps. That was it. They are also 2-0. They are in second, so I guess tied for first. The Connecticut Whale are 1-1 in third. Buffalo is 0-1 in fourth. Toronto is 0-1 in fifth, and then Boston, the Pride, are 0-1. So the Pride have yet to win.
Okay.
And actually, so do the Buttes, and so do the Six. So we've got 3 teams
Right.
down there without wins yet. Which the Six
said-
actually.
Sorry, you said the
yeah.
Caps are tied for second. The Whitecaps.
They're tied for first.
Oh, they're tied for. Oh,
Yeah,
tied for first.
yeah, tied
okay,
for first.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, they're the reigning champs. That's what I wanted to know.
okay. Well, that's who Toronto played today. The game that I watched, and it was good. It ended up being it ended up being a shootout in the figurative sense and the literal sense. It was 5-5 in regulation, and then they
And
went
it got
through,
to a shootout.
and
Wow.
it got to the shootout.
Who won?
Minnesota ended up
Oh.
winning it. But
Yeah,
the
Toronto, they're entirely. I think there was only like 2 or 3 players on that team that have NWHL experience, and the rest are just other pro players, and they're
Yeah.
all kind of being thrown together for the first. Like, there's a lot going against them, so it's cool that I think they at least got a couple shootout games, right, or just a shootout game.
I think it was just the one shootout game because they got shut out in that first game.
Right.
Because it was the first goal in Toronto 6 history today. So
yeah, so like they got a lot going against them, so at least they're kind of showing some amount of skill there.
Yeah.
Who's in first? Did you say?
The Riveters and the Whitecaps. I can't even remember.
Okay,
they're
cool.
Yep.
I'm probably gonna try to watch what I can on Twitch this week because I might be doing some stories related to them for work.
Ooh, nice.
So yeah, so that could be fun. I'm not sure on what yet, but I will keep you guys posted.
What I will say, Eric, the play-by-play guy, I started watching it and I was like, wow, this dude sounds really familiar. It's the Panthers play-by-play guy is doing the play-by-play.
Yeah.
No I was like, dude, why does this guy? I feel like I've heard
you
this guy's
probably
voice
hear him a
before.
lot because divisional games.
Well,
Tampa?
They haven't played together yet, but the other weekend when Eric was up, we were watching the Florida-Chicago game, and Eric was like,
Yep.
I really like the way this guy does play-by-play. And I started listening. I was like, yeah, it's actually pretty good. And then I heard his voice again, and I was like,
yeah, wow. So that's really great. Yeah, that's honestly cool too because like you definitely like NHL fans, like that's perfect. I think, even if maybe he's not your like, favorite play-by-play guy, you definitely know like, oh, that's definitely the Panthers. If you follow it, you're like, oh, that's definitely the Panthers guy because he has such a distinct voice. So that's really cool. That's really cool that he's doing that like on the side. That's really cool. Props on the. I don't know if that has anything to do with like the NHL getting involved, but like or if he just made the decision himself. But props.
Yeah, and I think the highest I saw the viewer count get to was 6,200, so it's not bad. They got a decent amount into the Twitch stream, and obviously when they get onto NBCSN, I think they're gonna get quite a few more eyes. So
yeah,
that'll be good to see.
That's gonna be the biggest thing. That's the biggest like American presence on TV that any women's league has ever had.
Yeah, definitely.
I know the CWHL's gotten national broadcasts in Canada, but it'll be big for them.
Yep, I'll definitely be watching those. And now to the big one, the big blockbuster trade. I'm telling you, I thought when Nick sent this to me, I thought it was a troll. I really thought it was a troll.
I was so happy when I saw
that was the first
because shit. Well, anyway, I
was gonna say. So I was just perusing Twitter that morning, and it just like popped up on my feed, and I was like, no way. So then I googled it, and I didn't see it anywhere else, but I sent it to you guys anyway.
Yeah.
And then
a couple minutes later, like early. It was right when it had happened, and then you'll like give it like 10-15 minutes. You'll start to see a lot more.
I can't remember what Twitter account broke it, but they definitely were the first ones out there. That's for sure.
It was Full Press Hockey, something like that.
I feel like they probably saw it from somebody else, like a reporter.
That was the thing that was the thing that Nick sent. So
yeah,
and that was the first link I found because like I even went to Instagram. I went through Twitter too to see like right after that, and I didn't see anything else. But I was like, oh shit.
That's a big one. That's two.
I was very happy when it was Winnipeg and not Montreal.
It doesn't necessarily help Columbus right now though, because Laine's out on IR. So
right. I mean, it's gonna be probably
a
week to 10 days that he's gonna have to not play anyway.
Not coming to the U.S. Is there a rule?
I know. I think it's at least 7. It's at least 7 going to the U.S. from everything I've heard. It's 14 if you're going into Canada, which is why I don't. That's a hell of a play for Winnipeg to make. that you're going to be you're going to be without Patrick Laine anyway because he was going on IR, but I
Yeah.
don't know what is he injured with. I don't know how long that is.
I think all it said
I
was
didn't
upper
see either.
body. If I'm remembering right.
Well, anyway,
Hold on, I got him on my fantasy team. I'll check.
but you're not going to have a Patrick Laine or a Pierre-Luc Dubois for 14 days in a very, 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 very close Canadian division.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see how that goes.
Well, kind of
So-
close.
So
The
for
Senators
those
are pretty much in the basement of that.
for those who don't know, the trade was Columbus gets Laine and Jack Roslovic, which interestingly enough, he comes from Columbus, Ohio, so he's going home.
Wow.
And Winnipeg gets Pierre-Luc Dubois and a 2022 third-round pick. So it's actually, I think it's a good trade for both organizations. They get two players that didn't want to be where they were out, and they get a nifty little return on them. If I had to lean to give one of the teams a win, I think I'd lean towards Columbus because they're getting two pretty solid
2 for
players. And Laine, for those who also don't know, Laine was the second pick, and then Dubois was the pick right after him.
They just swapped.
And Laine has, I think, I wrote it down. I just got to find it. Laine has 250 points in 306 games played. Pierre-Luc Dubois has 159 points in 239 games played. So
At least Laine is not a quitter on his team.
Laine's, yeah. Well,
Like it's not like Laine was doing bad this year.
No,
he
he
had
was
had
still
a
trying.
few multi-goal games. Like
Yeah.
I think that relationship was a lot more repairable than whatever the hell happened with Columbus and Pierre-Luc Dubois. I don't know what. Like I think he just really didn't want to play in Columbus because I
wonder if him and
see
Scheifele
that
have
many
something
other
going on.
reasons.
I think I want to say that I heard somewhere that he and Scheifele don't have a very good relationship, but
Laine?
who cares? Yeah, like who cares? You're professionals. Get over your shit while you're on the ice.
No, the complaint
Yeah,
I
but,
always
like-
heard was that Patrick Laine wanted to play with Scheifele and never got that.
You were on the right track
he was-
though, bud.
He always that's like just over. Like I mean, he had plenty of good centers to play with, and they basically went out and got Paul Stastny for him this summer. But then now Laine's gone. I just think that just the stuff that Laine can do, like the goals he can score, and like just what he can do if he's put in the right spots, he's just a much higher value player
If
than
he has the
Pierre-Luc
right
Dubois
teammates.
is. I think he's I don't know. I think Columbus wins it on this one, but
What I wrote down here is I checked out the lineups for each team and to see like where these players might end up, and I would say Laine is likely going to be obviously on the 1 or 2 line with Domi as a center or Textier as a center. So I feel like you'd want to stick him with Domi, but that top line is actually pretty killer. So I don't know if they're going to want to change that. So he might end up on the second line with Textier.
who's
Who's
on
the other winger?
Columbus's top line?
Foligno, Domi, Bjorkstrand, I believe. And Bjorkstrand's not one you're going to want to push down for Laine because they're both right wingers, I believe. Let me look.
I mean, I think you'd put in Laine over Bjorkstrand.
Dude, Bjorkstrand is
He has memories from Tampa. From the Tampa
Bjorkstrand is
series.
a much better player than he gets credit for because every time they played Lightning, he pisses me off.
I mean,
I
I guess if not, I guess then you'd have to be on second line because you're not going to put Patrick Laine any lower than that.
Yeah.
Or why'd you go get Patrick Laine?
Yeah,
So we'll know in about a week and a half to 2 weeks. what
probably
happens
2
with-
weeks. Probably 2 weeks.
So Ben, do you know like?
Oh, actually, it's Atkinson.
Or can-
Atkinson on the right. Sorry.
He's no scrub either.
No.
No, he's pretty
He
good
was
too.
pretty good.
What were you gonna say though, Nick? Do I know what?
Yeah.
So obviously all those guys got put on COVID protocol to go to their next team. But is it like they just have to get a couple negative tests and then play, or do they actually have to be out the duration of time between states or between Canada and U.S.?
My understanding of the Canada situation is going into Canada, the Canadian government is being as strict with them as they are with all citizens in that, or citizens or anybody else in that anytime you've traveled into Canada from outside of the nation, you have to quarantine for 14 days. That's just everybody.
The rule.
And I think part of I don't know because I didn't honestly look into it that much because I just wanted to watch hockey. But as far as I know, that's what the quarantine orders for NHL players are too, coming into the, and like that's how essentially how like those Canadian teams got allowed to be played in their facilities, because for so many of them it was up in the air until like a week before the league started whether or not they were actually even going to be allowed in their facilities, because there's so many provinces that are doing so bad case wise right now and are under really strict lockdowns right now, because like Ontario's super locked down.
They're
but then
fully
there's still
locked
hockey
down,
teams.
basically.
Yeah, like there's still hockey teams playing. So going into Canada, it's a little tougher. And then I think going into US, it kind of varies state to state, like how everything is varying state to state right now. But I've admittedly not looked that much into the NHL's policies because, again, I just kind of wanted to watch hockey.
Yes, we all wanted to watch hockey.
So all right. So I guess the majority of everyone here we're saying leaning towards Columbus for.
I feel
a
like
winner
Columbus won
for the
that
trade.
one.
I mean, Pierre-Luc Dubois
He's good
is
too.
easily
Because
he's
Winnipeg-
easily a high enough ceiling player where he could prove me wrong on that. Like
Yeah,
he could
and-
become an amazing centerman that
22.
is easily better than Patrick Laine. I just think with what I've seen out of Patrick Laine right now and like the goals he can score and what he can do put in the right spot, I think he's a more valuable player.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
because I know like everyone was saying Winnipeg really like they wanted to shore up their center depth and they got that with Dubois.
But they had
It helps.
Did they need to though? I mean,
it's still
obviously yes. Obviously yes. It's better to have a Pierre-Luc Dubois in your center like depth than not. But they had Scheifele and Stastny at least.
Yes.
I guess that all
That's
depends on if
already-
you think Paul Stastny is a second line center.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
still think Paul Stastny can function as a second line center.
I think so
I don't
too.
think he's.
but
I don't think he's optimal as a second line center.
A-
but
after,
I
well,
think
let me tell you what we're looking at after that. After that second line, we're looking at Adam Lowry and Jansen Harkins.
Okay, Adam Lowry's a
So-
decent fourth liner or third or fourth liner, but then Tessa, I don't know enough
who
about
the other
Win-
guy is.
I don't know enough about Winnipeg's.
So like
guys.
you said, Ben, like you said, in a super close Canadian division, right? There's I guess if Winnipeg's like, hey, we want to make a run and we want center depth for the
Yeah,
This is-
it
this
makes
is gonna-
sense.
This is gonna make them.
It'll make more
I
sense.
would have kept the winger. I'm not gonna lie.
What is Laine's injury? That's what I want to know. In Laine injury news,
Also,
because like how long is he going to be out? Because if he's going to be out like several weeks, then yeah, sure, make the trade. You're not going to have him.
That might be what's happening.
Well, you look into that injury, Benny, real quick. If you cut me off when you find it. But the other thing I was thinking about, so like we all kind of know the coach that Torts kind of is.
Yeah.
He's very hard ass. Like Laine, how do you think him and Laine are gonna mesh? Like that's an honest question. Like do you
Poorly.
think Laine's gonna? So that's right. So if we're just looking at it right, stats wise, like oh my god, of course Laine's gonna be great for Columbus, right? Generational finisher. But
I think it will largely depend on how much production Laine has out of the gate. Because while yes, Tortorella is a hard ass, if you produce for him, he won't be.
It's true.
That is the thing that makes him like you. Is like if you do well for him, he will like you. If you don't do well for him, then meh. If he produces right off, I think it'll be fine. But yeah, if he's slow to start, I can very easily see how Tortorella could very quickly turn into the same kind of situation.
yeah, because like here's the thing for me, right? Like both players, I know they didn't want to be where they were, but like Dubois in Winnipeg with in a super tight Canadian division, he knows maybe like potential deep playoff run. I think Columbus is capable of that, but like Winnipeg, they have some
Might
pieces,
be more capable.
So if you look at that, Dubois is gonna, in terms of like, oh, fresh start, gonna be producing a lot. I definitely see that more with Winnipeg. But like, yeah, if Line A and the whole Columbus thing does not go well, like that could be a disaster. I'm not saying it's
Yeah,
going to be, but like,
because his contract is up at the end of this year, I
Yeah.
believe. I believe he goes into some more RFA action.
Yeah, because he was. Oh Christ, he was like a late signing, like a couple years back. Like he was right up until the end too of a summer when he was an RFA.
I feel like we
and then
were
they
just
gave him a
talking
pitch.
about Line's contract. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
I-
remember
I-
talking about that, but
not
Anyway.
us.
I'd like
Not,
to.
I'm
I'd
not
like.
saying us. I'm
just
saying
generally, like it
Oh,
feels like it
generally.
wasn't that long ago. I think. Yeah,
I don't think it was a long contract, so we probably.
I think it
probably
was. I think it was 2 years.
twofer?
Yeah.
Oh man, I spilled crumbs on my desk from dinner.
I
annoying.
can't seem to find anything definitive on Line A's. It just says day to day
Oh.
is like the most specific it gets. But okay, so then Columbus might just get him back really soon. So
They
who
might.
knows? I don't know.
yeah. So that's I just wanted to add that little tidbit in there. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out. So.
Yes. I'd like to move on to this. Now it seemed really stupid at first, and then it seemed a little less stupid later. The Capitals are fined $100,000 for a couple of their players violating COVID protocol, which what they did was in violation. As weird as it is, it was in violation. So what happened was 4 Russian men walk into a hotel room without masks on.
Jesus.
Without any masks on.
No, it was Ovechkin, Kuznetsov, Orlov, and Samsonov. 4 pretty integral parts of that team.
Yeah.
So they were hanging out in one of the hotel rooms, which, if Samsonov ended up testing positive, which is I heard that on the 31 Thoughts podcast from Elliot
Yeah.
Friedman. I think if he doesn't test positive, I don't see the issue. But he
Well-
tested positive, so there's the issue.
It's so it's the argument. Yeah, sure, okay, they're on the bench, they're hugging on the ice. Well, what, they're not going to catch the virus then, but yeah, they could when they're on the ice. But like that's a part of what they signed up to be there to do. Is like, all right, we're risking this for this on, but outside of playing in a hockey game, you have to try to minimize interactions as much as you can because sure, yeah, you were on the ice with the guy earlier in the day next to him, but then what if one of the guys runs out of the hotel to go to a convenience store for a second to grab some like something and then comes back in, but in the process of going there he catches it at the store, and then if they're at least, I don't know what their testing policies are like, but and then if you at least go to your own hotel room and like you get tested in the morning or whatever, you figure out, oh shit, this guy's got it, then he doesn't end up getting spread to like a practice or it's just because you have to try to minimize interactions as much as you can, because who knows if one person just happens to interact with the one wrong person, then goes to just with their teammates to play cards in a hotel room or whatever, then it could spread.
They're Russian. They're
to-
playing cards and they're spending some money.
Yeah.
They're gambling.
Yeah, I guess I see that. It's.
I mean, it's but then also there's the part of it's also the restrictions they signed up to before
Yeah,
the start of the
it's
season.
it's a public document they can look at to see
Yeah.
to see the rules. So
And in the NHL's defense, like sure, it starts with just some of them hanging out in a hotel room on the same team, but then like they do that for a little while and realize, okay, well, they're not really punishing anybody. All right,
Yeah,
and then
it's-
maybe we try to go to a restaurant, see what happens if we all maybe like, because like if you don't make an example of like, all right, we're gonna actually, you can't do shit. Like it took a lot to get this season to happen in terms of, especially in terms of dealing with like the regulations of the Canadian government. The Canadian division is a minor miracle that actually happened. But
Yeah.
like if you're gonna actually have all this happen, we have to like work on it. And they're also very, very rich men getting paid millions of dollars, a lot of them, to play hockey. So like
yeah,
we've all been stuck in our apartments all year. Like
yeah. I mean, I don't buy into that stuck in the apartment thing because I was not stuck in this apartment. I left many times to do many things. Like I went hiking and like did outside shit all the time.
Sure,
Like I wasn't stuck in the apartment. So Maybe I was
Right.
supposed to be, but fuck that. I wasn't breathing on everyone, so they can suck me.
So they fined the Capitals.
They fined the
but
team
they didn't
because
find-
well,
they didn't
because
find the players?
originally it was going to be, I think it was, they were thinking of doing 10,000 a player, but then they realized that's like $10 to these guys. So let's find the team a little more.
Yeah, and then the team will be mad and make
Yeah.
them listen. But that in terms
Yeah,
of
the
they
old-
didn't find the players, but I think all of them got put on COVID protocol, which doesn't necessarily mean they have it, but they're not allowed in games right now because they need to be tested and whatever. So you're not fining them, you're not suspending them, but like I think it was estimated they're going to at least miss like the next 4 games. So you're essentially
Jeez,
suspending
was it that
them.
many?
Yeah, just in terms of the timetable. I don't.
Freaking
That
A.
might have been wrong, but I think I might have heard that. And then
A week?
Samsonov for probably longer because he actually
He
tested
actually has
positive.
it, so he probably will be.
He was
Yeah,
hurt
so-
too.
A little bit more.
Is he not hurt?
It's so hard to tell with this, like with the
There-
IR comes up. It's so hard to
The
tell. If
IR,
it's like
it's even if you're. I mean, at least in fantasy, it's how it works. Is like if they're on on the COVID,
It
like
shows
they
up,
tested
yeah.
positive, you can
Yeah,
put it
but
on
COVID
IR.
yeah. It's
I
just
don't.
like every other sport.
Yeah, it's gonna be a weird season for all of
Yep.
that. It's gonna be
But-
like that all year.
But finding teams for like they did it in the NFL at the beginning of the season. There was a handful of coaches that were just like, "Fuck this, we're not wearing masks," and you could clearly tell on the sidelines when they were coaching that they didn't care. Like Sean Payton for the Saints never wore one for the first couple of weeks. John Gruden for the Raiders didn't wear one. There was a handful of others too. And then the teams ended up getting fined because those coaches weren't following the rules even on
Right.
the sidelines during the
Mhm.
games.
Which
So,
is
like,
the one way you will get them to listen, because if you find the team,
away their money.
if you're taking the team's money, they're going to make sure their employees do whatever the league wants them to do. So that'll make that happen.
It took a couple weeks. I remember it taking a couple weeks for them to like, for all of the people, all the coaches, all the players to finally be like, okay, I guess I need to do this, because like I don't think they fined it after week 1, but I think they started fining after week 2, and then I remember there being fines on like week 3, and then after that you didn't really hear anything because everybody was like, probably
Better put my
they probably
mask on.
got chewed out because
Yeah.
they were unnecessarily spending money.
Well, speaking of fantasy and IR and all that fun stuff,
Fuck me.
things have turned around for the old Flying Churros
It's not
in
been
a bad
good.
way.
It's not been good at all.
I was looking at the standings the other day. Actually, it was today, and I'm thinking to myself, Ben's about to quit. He's too far behind, and he doesn't want to deal with
No,
this.
you're not too far behind. Don't believe that.
I'm
You just
not. It's
you just need to
still
start
very
putting the right
very
players.
early.
You gotta put the right
I
players in. That's what you got to do.
my choices have been not good. I've lost out like on a solid 90 points last week just
Yep.
because I didn't have the right choices in. Like it's been bad, and I am in 7th now. Okay, that's new. I was never that low.
Oh yeah,
the
you're in the
last time
basement, bud.
I was in 7th. I'm in last. All right, but I'm only 170 points back. That's not
Yeah,
insurmountable.
That's not even that much. That's not even that much.
It will take a lot.
Yeah, you're gonna have to start putting the right players in for sure.
I might have to start making some trades here.
Or shuffling some guys around.
Ooh,
Like
you
I've
might
already
have to
gotten
make
rid
some
of a lot of
trades.
people too. I got rid of a couple defensemen.
I've been
Or I
shuffling
got-
people, and it's I've been shuffling wrong, my man.
Here, well, do you want to hear
Now
something?
that Dallas is finally back in,
Fucking
playing,
Dallas.
goddamn Mackenzie Blackwood. That's the New Jersey guy, right? Mackenzie Blackwood. Is
Yeah.
that the one?
The goalie?
He goes off for like the first 3 games. I grab him, and then an hour after I grab him, he goes onto the fucking COVID list.
Yep.
So he's out. I have him on my IR right now because you can do that. But like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
timing was, I had literally added him earlier that day.
So here's something interesting. When you go onto the site and you look at the league, you can see how many moves each team has made. So how many pickups, how many drops, things like
I've made
that.
a lot.
Ben, you have made 6. Danielle's made 8. Nick's in 3rd with moves made with 7, and I have made 10 moves.
Oh wow.
I think that kind of explains it though. Like, these guys, it's such a shorter season too. Like we're already like 5, 6, 7 games in. And so we're you know, a sixth of the way through the season.
A 10th.
Sure.
5 or 6
Let's
games
go.
would be a 10th-ish.
So we're a 10th of the way through the season. And like it's like so like I'm holding on to people like Keith Yandel and like he's not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like he's really not scoring me any points. And like Roman Yossi I dropped the other night. He had 1 assist in 7 games. I'm like, okay, see ya. You're done.
Yeah, it's especially in a season this short, you're going to have to make your moves quickly.
And I think the big thing is like I saw you did it, I did it, and I think Danielle is doing it too. We all have 3 goalies, so you're rotating 3 guys.
The 3 goalie thing that's a W. The 3 goalie move is the way to go.
Yeah, because I picked up Dobby a couple nights ago.
Ooh, hope you had him in today.
I have him in right now. I picked him up the night of their win, before anybody else jumped on it.
So you picked him up. So you picked him up after that game.
Yes.
Ooh,
I didn't have him that
missed
night.
out on that. I wonder what he got for that. I bet he would have had like 30 points almost.
Let me check.
Dude.
I might have had him. I might have had him for that.
Not if you picked him up.
So I know I picked up Radulov and Klingberg after, but I thought I had. I did have Khudobin for that game. He had 30.
Looking at
30 points.
Ooh, he had 34 saves that night.
Yeah, 34 save shutout.
Everybody's points where they are right now tonight. I could jump a couple people. I just looked at everybody, but
looking to move up, eh?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So me and my bastards are up top in first place, and then Nick and his clef bombs are in second. And I believe last week, Ben, you had the 3rd spot.
I was in 3rd place.
Yeah.
How I have fallen.
And Ben has fallen to the basement. But that means you're not all that far behind.
I'm really not. It's like nobody's crazy ahead right now, which is okay. It's when it gets to be like a 300-point gap, it's like, eh.
Yeah, then you're getting close to the maybe can't do that. Maybe can't come back from that.
Benny, I saw you picked up Matt Murray. You got some faith in him or something?
He was the best goalie available.
I could put Blackwood on the IR, and then after that, yeah. So I just grabbed him.
I would have picked up like Shesterkin or somebody like that.
He hasn't been doing anything.
Igor?
Yeah, but neither is Matt Murray. He's lost every game he's played.
No.
Except for one.
I mean, yeah.
So one game against Toronto.
Really, I don't know if that's him, but
I've been watching the Sens games, and I've been liking watching them. They're not terrible. They're not terrible.
Even what DJ Smith said something about how Nick Paul is their best player, consistently their best player right now.
He was flying around the other night.
I agree. He is definitely trying the hardest on that team right now. And there's a couple players, and one specifically, Shabbat. I'm kind of like, yes, he's a good player, and I'm not arguing that at all. I'm I'm disappointed in how he's playing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know. I feel like he should be doing more. But I mean, he is playing on a shitty team, so.
Yeah. I mean, look, your team's also super young. What do you guys have a young line where I think Brady Tkachuk's the oldest guy on it? So
he's younger than us.
Yeah, so in like 2 or 3 years, I think that team will probably be pretty solid, especially if you can shore up your D a little bit, I would say.
As long as they hold on to the guys they have.
Yeah, they do have to hold on to those guys.
They can't just trade all of their best players.
That's one thing too, though. Stutzel's out right now.
I know he has been, which I think is a fine move. If he's got some kind of soreness happening, keep that dude out. He's gonna be a star.
Need to further injure him on this season.
I agree.
Exactly.
I agree.
All right, so let's talk about some of the craziness to start off this season. Now we had last week, we had the podcast, but the season had started on Wednesday, so we were like 3 or 4 days in. So now we're a full week and a half ish in, and we've seen many a game. And I think the team that has impressed me the most is Ben's Canadians. They are on one right now.
They don't have a regulation loss right now.
Some
no,
of
we
the,
do not.
they have played 3 games against the Vancouver Canucks.
Canucks,
So
they-
easy points there, but they're still playing really, really freaking well.
But you guys did blow out Edmonton,
Edmonton.
2 games in a row, right?
They
There
also have
was
looked
a
really
And
bad.
then you took the
5-1 and 3-1 against Edmonton, and I don't. Yeah, no, neither of McDavid or Draisaitl scored.
and then you took Toronto into overtime and lost that, right?
Yeah, and I still think they
There's a lot of
easily could have
unlucky
had.
bounces
They
there.
easily could have
Yeah.
had that game.
I remember watching that game too, and we were like, "Jesus Christ, what are they doing here?"
They
They're
easily
gonna
could
give
have
this
had
game away.
that. They easily could have had that game if not for giving them a 2-minute long 5-on-3, basically. So there's I don't have a lot to say just because like
Well,
They're
Ben,
doing it. They're just doing it.
they
Holy-
got 10 out of a possible 12 points in their 6-game road trip to start the season.
Ben, do you
Like,
take back what you said about Toffoli now?
Yeah,
I know
Toffoli,
you kinda
that's what I was
talked
gonna
about-
say.
You take it
Told
back.
the fuck up, eh? I mean, no, I won't take because like he wasn't doing all that much the first few games. That was true, and then Vancouver
He
happened.
just needed to get acclimated, man. He's
Vancouver
getting used to a new
yeah,
system.
And that's what I said. I said that in the last episode. I said, like, hey, yeah, he's new. He probably needs a little bit. But no, he certainly fucking did the thing this week.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Hattie and then 2 goals.
I
and
wanted
then
him to
don't
get
think
that second hat trick.
he didn't score in the 3rd game, I don't think, but I think he had a couple assists.
He had a
And
the other.
he had a hat trick the first night against Vancouver and the
first game.
shootout loss. Which that shootout that game was a mess. Like that's
oh my
the
god,
one
yeah,
thing.
it was.
That's the one thing I will say that the Habs need to figure their shit out is how many penalties they're taking, because they're doing it which I mean they've scored like 2 or 3. No, they've scored 2 shorthanded goals I think in 2 separate games, and then like a couple others. Like they've gotten an insane amount of shorthanded goals already this year. It's at least like 4 or 5. But no, they're taking way too many penalties, and that was the only reason Vancouver was in that game that I think you were watching, Mike, because I think they had 2 or 3 power play goals in that game.
They did. Bo Horvat had the same power play goal twice in one game.
Yeah,
I was like,
it was ridiculous.
is this a replay? Oh no, it's not. It was literally the
No.
same goal.
The same goal. Vancouver's power play, which was weird because they took basically the same amount of penalties in those games against Edmonton, but they just killed them all off. Like their penalty kill looked awesome against Edmonton, and then Vancouver, they did very not. They very did not. But like they need to stop taking 6 to 7 penalties a game every night if they want to keep winning, because it's getting concerning.
Yeah. Yeah, but overall, not too much to be concerned about over there.
No, it's been fun. I mean, Armia went down to injury, and then Corey Perry
that
came
was
up for
bad.
last game. That hit was rough.
That was bad. I saw that. I don't know where the suspension is, but
yeah, I don't know. I don't have that much faith in the Department of Player Safety anymore. But
Ben, is that why Joel Edmondson fought Tyler Myers, right?
yes,
Okay.
that was why that happened.
did he end up
but
fighting
then
him the next game?
Yeah, Joel
Oh, okay.
Edmondson fought him, and he got him pretty good. Like he caught him with a real mean left at one point. But
Got up.
he Corey Perry came in for him the next game and scored his first
Got a
game
goal,
up.
yeah.
He was on the taxi squad for the Habs, and then first game up he scores, so he'll probably stay there. Until Armia is back, which it sucks just because the game before, like the game Armia got injured in, he had 4 points, 2 goals, 2 assists.
Yeah,
he was
that
on
was-
fire. Him and
He was
Foley
going off.
seem to have a lot of chemistry. So it'll be good when he gets back to have him. But the nice thing about Corey Perry is he's kind of just an older, slightly dirtier version of Joel Armia. Like they're both big frame, tall forwards who rely on that to be able to box people out a bit and have strong wristers. Armia is far more mobile than Corey Perry is at this point in Corey Perry's career, but Corey Perry kind of like he can fit in with that line fairly well.
Nick just watched the
Did you
hit.
just watch that?
That had to be
Now,
it, dude.
now I want to watch the fight.
He's watching the story unfold. Yeah, he was friggin' came in with his 7'9" tall
And it
frame
was
and
already-
shouldered his head.
It was already 6-3 with like 2 minutes left in the game.
Yeah,
Like,
it
fuck
was-
off!
You
What are
don't
you
need to.
doing?
Yeah, it was
He
just
just dropped his shoulder straight
it was-
into his head.
he dropped it
Yeah.
and then he lifted it as well.
Yeah,
Like
it
that
was
was just
bad.
it was a bad hit. That should have been a suspension.
I really
and-
did appreciate though that like immediately, like if you watch the slow mo replay, Lekanen and Evans literally just immediately turn on a dime and both just go "fuck you, Myers."
They did, yeah.
Like it was so fun to because like that's the one thing I've seen so far is like they are all on the
They're
same
together?
page. They are on the same page
One for all.
right now.
Yeah, they're
yeah,
they're
it's been
they're a
fun.
fun
Connected
they're a
them.
fun team to watch. Yeah.
Evanson definitely connected some haymakers there. Oh man, that left hook at the end. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. Yeah.
Right in front of the bench, he just comes around and
He
bam.
gets them fucking good. Yeah, no, it was fun.
So yeah, I'm a little surprised at how the Canadians have started. I didn't think it was going to be this spicy. They're leading the league right now, 10 points. I think the next highest is Vegas with 8. And also
They're
with
leading the league.
they are leading
Vegas
the
actually-
league right now.
Vegas just snuck out a win against Arizona tonight too.
So they
1-0.
might be ahead now.
But-
And then I believe also high up in the league and also high up in the West. Yes, they are second now because of the Vegas win, but the Minnesota Wild are in second
Yeah.
in the
sneaking
West,
in
and
there.
we're tied for second for the league until the Golden Knights. Actually, so they might just be solo second now.
All right, I know this isn't everything, but like the Kings, 2 nights in a row just could not beat Minnesota. it was so frustrating. It's like just
Did I have
So-
Minnesota in my playoff choices? I feel like I
don't-
did.
I don't
None of us
think
did.
I don't think any of us did.
Or did
but
I say San
I'll-
Jose? Or I think I might have said San Jose.
San Jose is playing bad right now.
They are. Yeah, they
It's not
didn't.
good.
Yeah.
They didn't fix what they needed to fix.
It's not good.
Devin Dubnyk was not the play.
So,
unfortunately.
so
was
Minnesota's
not-
playing Cam Talbot. Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, I was
Yes,
gonna
he's
gonna
number
bring
one.
that up. I think he is part of the reason that they have gotten off to the start because right now he's got 4 games played, so he's played all except for one of their games. He's got a 2.34 goals against, and he's got a 925 save percentage. So Cam Talbot's
Wow.
doing pretty good through these first 4 games.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just him or if they are playing a tighter defense around him and forcing shots to the outside. I haven't watched any Minnesota hockey at all, so it's all speculation for me.
The only thing I know about them is Kirill Kaprizov has been really good since he came in, and I picked him up on my fantasy team.
I've written that down as well. 5 points in 5 games.
Hey, they finally got their old man Parise to score a goal. Only took 5 games.
They're
Nice.
old man.
Their old man Parise.
He almost went to the Islanders last year.
Yep.
Did he?
Yeah, he almost went there at the deadline. Like, friggin' Lamorello was trying to make that happen, but like there was so many conditions around the trade that like it didn't happen before
So
the
now,
deadline.
so now we ask, would an Islanders with Parise have beaten the Lightning?
I don't know because they probably
Um,
wouldn't have gotten Pajot.
Well, here's the thing.
Oh,
Here's the thing.
so that's a
of-
I
no.
would definitely take Pajot over fucking Zach Parise at this point. that's for
Instead
sure.
of
Yeah.
instead of Zach Parise, the Islanders got ex-Devil superstar Andy Green on the
They
D.
also did get him too.
Right. Well, which all right. To be fair to Andy Green, he had a decent series against the Flyers in that Philly series. To be honest, I don't remember much of the Lightning series. All I remember is watching that first game where the Lightning won like 8-2 or something like that, and just being really
It was
depressed.
7-1, I think.
Okay, yeah,
Or
so
no,
that
it was 7-2. 7-2. It was the Boston series. They won 7-1, and
it
they
was
just
like, well,
they were
yeah.
coasting to goals at the end of that Boston game.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it.
yeah. But, no, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that Zach Parise rumor thing. Cause,
I didn't even know that was the thing. I was paying attention
Yeah.
to who the Lightning were picking up because the Lightning went off on moves then.
I just
Obviously, it was worth
lived
it.
on Twitter on deadline day, but
So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see if Minnesota can keep it going.
it wouldn't shock me. Like that's the one. I think if I remember looking at it, like that's the one division where there's some open spots. Like
There's like one.
Or there's one open spot.
There's like
but,
one spot that's
There's an open spot in terms of like who of Minnesota, Arizona, Los Angeles, Anaheim, or San Jose are you gonna say is that much better than the other?
man. Before the start of this season, I would have said the Ducks. I think.
Yeah, maybe.
But
Gibson's
now,
really good.
No.
Even like I'm not even that confident that Arizona's not great.
I don't
but
have
I'm not
confidence
even
in
gonna
any
say
of
that
those
they're
teams.
that bad because like they beat the Knights last night.
Yeah, I don't think Minnesota's going to stay this high in that division, but I think they could easily keep that playoff spot. That wouldn't shock me at all.
No.
But I also think that Arizona or LA could step up their game and easily take that spot away from Minnesota because I don't think Minnesota's that much. Like I think that last spot is going to be fairly open for most of the year.
Yeah. Like we won't know until late.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And speaking of that, the Sharks and the Wild are tied 1-1 right now.
Ooh.
I
Take
hope
them down,
Capers
Sharks.
off.
Take them down.
Goals.
I should have worn
He's on
my
my
Sharks
fantasy.
hat. So Dallas apparently really enjoyed their time off.
They got an extra couple weeks of rest and they fucking showed up. That's for sure.
They showed up tanned and, toned from vacation.
On a mission.
Wait, I need to. So Dallas had what, a 5-goal second period? Were they all power play goals too? Because Nashville could not stay out of the box.
Was that the thing? I watched none of this game.
I just saw the score and I was like, "Oh fuck!"
Same. Yep. So the
I
Stars.
wasn't watching it, but Brian was texting me like as the game's going on. He's like 3-0, good guys. 4-0, good guys. 6-0, good guys. He's like, oh, just won 7-0. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, so the Stars won 7-0 over Nashville. So my pick to have Nashville in the playoffs and Dallas not is looking pretty rough after one game.
It's just one game.
Guys,
It is
are you
just
ready for
one
this?
game.
Are you ready for this? 5 power play goals and 1 shorthanded goal.
In the second?
It just in the entire game.
Oh, jeez.
So out of the 7 goals, 5 were power play goals and 1 was
6.
shorthanded. That is insane.
One was 5-on-5.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes me feel a little bit better. So maybe their special teams is just nutty, and
Dallas is also up 1-0 right now again.
Man, but yeah. So and actually, it makes sense when you look at these stats here. Pavelski's the points leader with 2 goals, 2 assists. We know where he goes in the power play is right in front of the net. So they were just banging in. They were banging in the close ones, I think, the garbage goals. Pavelski.
That's good continuing that from the playoffs because like he didn't have that awesome of a year last year in the regular season. So hey, good for them.
And he's now on my fantasy team. So.
Oh.
He had an assist on the first game or on their goal tonight too. I don't know if it's a primary or secondary, but
doesn't matter. It's the same amount of points.
Raju went off in that first game too. I think he had a goal and an assist or goal and 2 assists, something like that.
It was fun.
So here's a question about Dallas while we're talking about him. So let's just talk about how if they keep playing at this pace, if they are this good and it's not like a fluky game 1, what do they do when Bishop comes back? Because Bishop's still out. Are they gonna platoon Bishop and Khudobin, or are they just gonna say fuck it and roll with Khudobin at that point, I mean, if they're playing good? Because like
it's 56 games in like no time. If you have that
especially
capable of a
Dallas.
goaltender, you're gonna use.
Some. It's kind of like, and it's obviously not identical situation, but like it's kind of like the Toronto one with Freddie and Jack Campbell. It's kind of like a little like Montreal because you guys
but I mean,
have
even
Jake
in Montreal, they've already gotten Jake Allen into 2 of the 6 games. Jake Allen's already played a third of the games. That's unheard of in terms of like structuring a schedule for Habs backups anyway, because none of them have been very good since Peter Budaj, basically. Which, hey, respect, Pete. You were great for like 3 years. I miss you. But Jake Allen apparently seems to actually be the first good backup they've had in forever. But like, I think it's a similar situation in that if you have Bishop and Khudobin, if you have 2 goalies of that caliber, then yes, you're going to use both of them.
I think a more accurate way to ask the question that Nick was asking is who starts playoff games. I think
you have to judge based on because you're still going to be platooning. I think basically every team with the amount of back-to-backs and 3 games and 4 nights every single team has this year on all their schedules, especially with somebody like Dallas now that's even more compressed. Yeah, you're going to at least be splitting some of the games, and then by the time you get close to playoffs, you'll know who's hotter. So
Yeah.
I don't think you'll know right now if it's going to be Bishop or Kudobin, but once you get to when is the regular season ending now? Is it May? May 8th. Once you get to May 8th, I think you'll know who it is you want to go.
It's going to be tough for them too because at that point, so I believe Bishop's out until somewhere into March. So that means you're running.
Really
that means
long? Holy fuck.
I think so. So that means you're running Kudobin up until that point, pretty much just him. I don't even know who they have as their backup.
Yeah, who's after that?
And it's not like it's hard for that. I would find it hard to even consider them playing a backup at that point, or up
Depending
until the point where
on-
Bishop comes back.
Yeah.
They have to. If they have
They will.
Yeah, I know they have to. Like the Senators played Hogeberg last night, and he played like shit, very bad. I was like, "Ugh."
You're gonna have to sometimes. You don't have goalies just can't do it.
Especially with Dallas, because with them missing, I guess 1 week, 1.5 weeks, they're gonna have to shove a lot of games.
Sagan's out for a while
Short
too.
time.
I think Sagan's out into that March time frame too.
It was
sucks.
5 months, I think. So,
Dallas is next in line after Kudobin is Jake Ottinger, who I have vaguely heard the name before because he's played in a few games, but that's about all I know about him. So
yeah, so
I'm gonna have a Pierre moment right now. I'm pretty sure he played college hockey. I don't know what university though. Sorry, Pierre. I'm not as good.
that was a very vague Pierre.
Yeah, vague Pierre. I have glasses. That's close enough. There we go.
Oh, you want to hear it? You want to hear a Pierre thing? Jordan Greenway on the Wild. You know where he was born?
Where?
Canton, New York. Boys.
Really?
No way.
Yeah, right up by where we come from. So that's pretty cool.
Imagine he snuck onto SUNY Canton's team, just played some D3. Are they D3? They're D3, right?
They are D3.
Oh. Oof, that'd be nuts.
I'm missing me some Pierre this year. I haven't seen any of him. What?
God,
he's
dude.
still there.
He's
Where-
on
like,
NBC. I've seen some games.
miss him.
I don't miss him either.
I haven't seen any Jesus Christ Don Cherry at this point either. I just haven't watched
Don
I don't
Cherry
think he's
got
really on
canned.
anything, but with Pierre McGuire, he's somebody who's the most positive towards the Habs of any
He's probably
media
French
person?
Canadian.
And I still don't like him. He's insufferable. I don't know.
I don't mind him, but he's back in the day, he would say these things that were just so stupid. He would read into these little things on the ice, and I'd be like, there's no way he's thinking all of those things. There's no way he's thinking all of those things in 1 second, Pierre. He's gone off of that, and he does more. He kind of just he says.
You need to know where every player played junior A.
Yeah, he's gone more into that direction now instead of.
And what their hockey coach thought of his snow shoveling abilities when he was 12, and they were doing team building activities.
Dude,
He was
listen,
like, "You're the
they
best
do
snow
that. There's
shoveler."
commentators for every league that do shit like that. I was even watching the game tonight, and it was Romo and Jim Nantz, and even Nantz will say some stupid shit like. I'm not gonna go say anything specific because I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but they're like, well, he knows he's got to do this, or this receiver knows the next time he can't be doing this. He's got to do it this way or this and that.
The thing is,
you're fucking up in a booth, dude.
Thing is, a lot of those guys I feel generally are good at their jobs and are interesting to listen to. Doc Emmerich, I won't pretend was the most analytical mind in the world or anything, but he was just good at calling a game. There's some guys like that, but there's nothing about listening to Pierre McGuire that makes me oh yeah, I gotta hear more of him.
Yeah, really.
There's never a moment where I'm please give me more Pierre McGuire.
Yeah,
that's
I hope
never
Pierre's at
happened.
this game.
That'd be the Mount Rushmore right there. Pierre Maguire, Mike Milbury, and Don Cherry. Put them all together.
Oh
You'd have a
my
great, you'd have a
Holy
great
fuck.
night.
That's a three-headed
if-
monster.
Honestly, just make a broadcast with those three just for the entertainment value alone. Like, fuck
Do
it.
it.
No, just put them
Do
all
it.
on their own channel. I want to see it.
Do it. The problem is there's no colors. There's no color there. It's all analyst and whatever the hell Pierre does.
That's true.
So
Need to play
let's
my play guy for that too. Yeah, we'll think on it.
let's talk a little bit about football. We are American as much as we might not seem like it. But the AFC championship game is going on right now.
Ooh,
And Kansas City
I meant to
Chiefs
put that game on.
Kansas City Chiefs are up 31-15 now with 40 seconds left in the third quarter.
Uh-oh.
Buffalo
It's
ball.
not looking good.
Buffalo
Well,
ball.
so
yeah,
Buffalo,
not looking good for the Bills.
In the first quarter, Buffalo kicked a field goal from like 50 and then had a touchdown and missed the extra point.
Oh
in the
my
first
God.
quarter. And now that they haven't scored a touchdown since, they've only kicked field goals.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, I see
that's
that.
that's part of the reason why they're losing. Because you kind of need to get more than three fucking
some-
points in a
needs-
quarter.
You need some
Second
TDs.
quarter. Second quarter,
3.
3 points.
Yep.
Third quarter, 3 points.
Yes. Yeah, it's not looking good for the Bills. Yeah, I'm wearing a Sabres jersey today because the Sabres won, and it's my girlfriend's
Hey.
team.
I'm not gonna count them out yet. There's still a whole fourth quarter to go.
There is still
They
a fourth
could.
quarter.
They could do it.
There's always a chance. There's always hope. And then Tampa Bay won the NFC game. So
Which that ended up being a very strange ending to that game. Did either
I
one
didn't
of you guys
see
watch
any of
it?
it. I don't think I
So-
have a way to watch it.
Oh man,
So with 2 minutes
I watched
left,
the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
roughly
I'll
with
be
2
watching
minutes
that too.
left, the Packers were down. What were they down? 10, 8. Okay, they were down 8 points with about 2 minutes left in the game, and they're on the Tampa Bay like 10-yard line ish area,
Mhm.
and the Packers had absolutely zero run game, basically that whole game, and so Aaron Rodgers had to pass every single play, it seemed like. And they get down into the 10. I believe they tried running it on the first down and they got stopped. So the next 2 plays they played or they did 2 shotgun passes, and like you're that close to the end zone, it's hard to get. Like you got everybody stacked in the box,
Mhm.
plus your receivers are covered all over the place because you only have like 20 yards to work with. Really, you got the
Yeah.
10 yards up until the goal line, and then the 10 yards in the goal line. So they didn't convert on those next 2 plays. Comes the fourth down, and this is the controversial call at this point. 2 minutes left, and you're down by 8. They're like, you got to go for a field. You got to go for a try and score a touchdown on that play, and then do a 2-point conversion because then you tie the game. They didn't,
They went
and
for
they
the
had
field
all their
goal?
time. They kicked a field goal. They had all 3 timeouts left with. So it was right before
Oh,
Um,
Nick.
the
Nick,
2-minute warning.
Yeah.
Nick, that's why the final score was 26-31 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
It was a 5-point difference because they went for
Yeah.
the field goal instead of the touchdown and the extra point. Okay.
Yeah. So now
Or the
people are
2
like, well, they had in the press conference after the game. They asked Aaron Rodgers, they're like, so what were your thoughts on that call with 2 minutes left to kick the field goal rather than go for it? He's like, it wasn't my decision. So it all came from the coaches.
No.
Yeah.
You're not even going to let the player. That's dumb.
They didn't even let him. Yeah. I'm like, you have Aaron Rodgers on your team. Plus, you got some good players around him. So, like, go for it. At that point, you have 2 minutes left in the game. And, yeah, the mentality is okay at that point because, like, so what happened was they kicked the field goal and then they kicked off again. And so the receiver off the kickoff got down before the 2-minute warning. So it was like 2 minutes and 3 seconds left. And so they're like, oh, okay, he's going to have – you basically have an extra timeout now. You have the 3
Yeah.
that you're going in with plus the 2-minute warning acting as a timeout as well. So, it's not a bad thought, but you got to make the stops on defense. And when the Bucs have the offense that they have, like the Bucs offense is no joke. So
Yep.
it was clearly the wrong decision. I would have thought you're that close to tying the game. You got to give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean that probably would have been my call, but
Trevor,
I'm not.
and
a
Trevor,
football
if you're watching this, Trevor, I'm sorry.
so. Is he a Packers guy? Packers fan?
He is. He's a very big Packers fan.
Yeah, football.
Tampa Bay. It's Tampa Bay's year.
So what's funny too about this is Tampa Bay, the Super Bowl is hosted in Tampa Bay this year.
Oh,
This is yeah. So this is this is actually the first time that the host team is playing in their stadium on the Super Bowl.
That's always been fucking weird to me. Why
It's-
is it a
it's-
separate location?
it's so there's no. It's supposed to be so there's there's no home.
There's
field
no home field.
advantage.
Why the
'Cause
fuck not? Make it the higher seed.
Because it's. I think the
So
reason they do
they
that
do
Ben, is
it up
because
into
it's
that
a one
point.
game. I think they do that because it's a one game thing.
So every
There's
other
it's not a
playoff
series,
game,
it's a
then
game.
they
It's a
go
one
based
game
off
thing.
of highest seed. So, like
Okay, I guess I see that. It's like it's just one match and it's
Yeah,
like
one
cross.
chance.
So like I get I guess.
so like the Chiefs right now are
Still
playing.
weird, though.
So the Chiefs are playing at home right now because they're a higher seed than Buffalo.
Yeah.
The Bucks had to play in Green Bay, so you have home field advantage up until the Super Bowl, and then the Super Bowl, to your point, Mike, is supposed to be so you kind of can eliminate home field advantage. But when you have a
Not
team that
Not this
Not
year.
this year,
But they
Tampa
did,
Bay.
so when does the location get chosen though?
Is it before the
maybe-
season
It's
starts?
usually before the season starts.
Oh,
That's weird.
that is
Interesting.
like I just because I don't really pay that much attention to any sport other than hockey, and then I think most sports all kind of operate in similar
They
ways.
do.
Yeah, because
Uh,
baseball does it. Baseball does it like you, Ben.
Yeah.
Baseball doesn't
Actually,
like hockey.
no.
Basketball
So
doesn't
baseball,
like hockey.
to my knowledge, if I remember right, whoever wins at the All-Star game, either
That's
the-
true.
the-
Yes,
I can't
whichever
even-
league wins,
whichever
that
conference wins.
league's team gets home field advantage in the World Series for
Yeah, so-
some fucking reason.
Yep.
So
if
if the American League or the National League wins the, I forgot about
The
that.
All
Yes,
Stars.
that is
What the frick?
yes, that is. I forgot about that.
That's dumb. They should do that for hockey.
So that's why they try and. If you watch the baseball All-Star game, it's usually fairly competitive. It's one of the more competitive ones out of all of them because there's actually
That's
something at
true.
stake.
Yeah, it probably would make the NHL if they did like conferences again and made that the advantage. It probably would make it a little more competitive. But I don't know if that's really something you should leave up to the outcome of an All-Star game.
There's a bye week next week, correct, Nick? They have
Yeah,
the two
Pro Bowl. Pro Bowl. is
Pro
this
Bowl.
upcoming
Yeah, I
weekend.
forgot about the Pro Bowl because I've never watched it.
Yep,
and
Pro
I
Bowl.
don't care
Pro
to.
Bowl always in between the AFC NFC Championship games and the Super Bowl. Super Bowl days from now.
I want to interrupt this football talk with some breaking hockey news.
Oh, jeez.
Nick, your new goalie Kudobin just got an assist.
What?
Wait, what?
You heard me right. Kudobin has an assist on Rupe Hintz's goal. The two assists were Pavelski and A. Kudobin.
Oh, I honestly thought you meant Kudobin was going to the Sens, and I was like,
Is that what I said?
No,
Oh,
you
no,
said
no.
your new goalie, so I was like, I forgot Nick added him on fantasy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's
Wait, does that get us? Does that give
will-
you points for
That
a
will be
goalie?
points. That will be points for an assist. It should be. If not, that's dumb.
It should
Um,
be.
It
I
should
hope
be.
it is.
If not, I apologize. I don't know why the league works that way, but
Which so that means
hasn't-
Anton
no.
Hudobin has more points than the entirety of the national team through the past game and this game so far. So
Oof. That is
He's
true.
got-
yeah.
Mike, I would have to say no to the points because he's got 2.4 with 4 saves. So
well, it just happened. So
Yeah, you
give it
might
a
need to
little,
give it a
a little bit. Give it
Yeah.
like 5-10 minutes. Also, Nick, I would like to apologize because I missed this late edition. So we're gonna go back to it. But I did want to talk about this guy too. Bobby Ryan is loving it in Detroit, I must say.
Which good for him.
Yeah,
Good
I'm
for him.
happy
He
to
got
see
out
it.
of Ottawa. Good for him.
Yeah, screw you, Nick.
you want to know why Bobby Ryan wasn't good in Ottawa? It's Melnick's fault. Let's just blame him.
Blame the owner.
Just gonna blame
You can blame him
Melnick.
for a lot of things.
I'm glad for Bobby Ryan. I've always liked him. I wish he would have been good with Ottawa, but wasn't the case.
You can't have everything in life. Oh, I just typed in booby instead of Bobby.
Booby Ryan.
What's the
And
what
then
are his? I'm trying to look up his stats here. I want to see what his stats are looking
Last
like.
I knew, he had 4 goals in 4 games.
He had 4 goals. He was the first, and listen to this. This is a crazy thing considering it's the Red Wings. He was the first Red Wings player to have 4 goals in his first 3 games with the Red Wings. The first one ever from an original 6 team.
Which I would agree. That's a very good. That's interesting because the Red Wings were no slouch for a long time. So
Yeah.
And just the pure fact, they're original 6, so they've been around for what 100 years, 102 years, whatever it is. He is looking at.
How is that a thing? How was he the first one? That still I
don't know. Some of those old school Datsu teams, those were some fucking good teams that they had.
I mean, it is kind of like a bit of an obscure.
It's a niche
there's
thing.
Stats, yeah, there's niche stats where it's like when you hear the 100-year-old team hasn't had it before, it's like, oh, that's weird. But then if you think about it for a second, it's like, yeah, I guess it's not that weird.
Yeah, the Austin Matthews one was kind of nuts.
What was that? Sorry.
He got 4-goal debut. That was just that was
just a really good game.
That's just a really good game, yeah. Against the Senators, actually, Nick. So
that's what they were saying. They were hoping that Stützle was going to come out and do the same thing.
Oh,
Toronto still managed to lose that game.
That would have been funny. But Bobby Ryan, 4 goals, 1 assist for 5 points through 5 games right now.
And somebody picked him up in fantasy.
Yes, someone did. Who was it?
You.
It was me.
Oh, plot twist.
Plot twist. It was your boy. Yeah,
He's
my
gotta be
team's
seeing
looking pretty
first line minutes at this point. Then.
Yeah, on the Red Wings, I would think so. But I mean, what is he?
Him and Dylan Larkin probably.
He's a right winger.
I mean, he's not going to be any lower than second, I would have to imagine.
Not on the wings. No.
I mean, he was playing 4th line for the Senators, so.
He wasn't doing very well.
I think that was still the wrong way to play. I don't know. I think the Senators' situation could have been more salvageable than it was.
Such a weird thing though. Like DJ Smith basically said, if you're not gonna try, it's not gonna. And you're talking practices too. He's like, I don't. That was kind of the taste I got from him. Was basically, if you don't try, you're not gonna see high minutes, which means you're gonna be bumped down lines, which they did to him. And then they healthy scratched him a handful of times too. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this team?
Was this after
This was all last year.
So this was after the.
You have to go to rehab though.
From the rehab.
Yep,
it was after.
From rehab.
It was after that.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
After he got the hat trick in his home debut.
Yeah.
His own.
That was a really nice night. I liked that.
That was really nice. That was really awesome to see. Good for that guy. What a beast. And I hope he keeps going. Keep going. Give me some points. Oh, he's 6'2". He's pretty tall.
I mean, he'll get plenty of time with that Red Wings team. It's not like he's not going to see ice time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're going to score some goals anyway, so he's probably going to be involved somehow, you know?
True. So I'm thinking about wrapping this up, guys. Is there anything any of you would like to mention last second here?
Yes.
I didn't hear much. Yeah, I didn't hear much about your Islanders, Eric.
Oh wait, I'll talk about them real quick. But the Sharks are winning 3-1 right now, randomly.
Oh,
let's
Just thought I should mention that.
I don't have any Sharks players, but whatever.
So the Islanders. So they're losing 2-0 to the Devils right now, which is really frustrating.
Dang it, man! I have the goalie.
And they also have a power play right now, which is also frustrating. If you're an Islanders fan, you understand that. It's just always, dude. Their first game against the Rangers, it was so exciting because it's like, wow, they scored power play, but again, they scored 2 power play goals out of 8 power play opportunities.
Frickin' A.
Which again, that's great. You could score 2 of them, but you know.
The Habs have actually had a decent one this year, which has been a surprise. But
oh, dude, well, yeah, they're off. Dude, offense is not your issue right
now.
Not right now. Let
me
tell you.
But
you know, so the Islanders. They only played 2 games last week, and it was, this past week. It was Boston, and then, oh god, was it? Did they play they played the Devils.
Did they play?
And they beat the Devils 4-1. They beat the
MyNHL.com.
Devils. They beat the Devils 4-1 on Thursday, and they beat the Bruins 1-0 on Monday. The Bruins game was I didn't really see much of it. It was 1-0, and the one goal was actually a really sweet goal though. Peugeot, he I forget, somebody took a shot and it went up in the air and he just knocked it right out of midair, like right below the crossbar, late in the third, which was pretty awesome. But again, like your classic like super stingy Islanders kind of defensive game, which it's against the Bruins. I'll take it, right? Might as well.
Yeah.
Screw the Bruins. I don't care how you beat them.
Yeah.
Just beat them.
Just beat them.
They're not doing so hot this year either.
No.
Yeah, they're like,
No.
yeah. And then the other Devils game, not much to say about that either. I don't know. Not the Devils again. The Devils on paper aren't like the worst, but like I expect the Islanders to beat them.
In practice, they're not too
it's
good.
hockey.
3-1-1. They're not that bad.
Yeah. So it's hockey. It's the NHL. So the Islanders are losing 2-0 right now. But that's all I have to say about them. And Sorokin's starting tonight. So.
He played the second Ranger game, didn't he?
Yes, when the Rangers absolutely tore them apart. That
that's
whole game was
unfortunate.
bad though.
That was
Varlamov
unfortunate.
went down in warm-ups and everything. Yeah, I think I talked about all that already.
Yeah,
So-
that was highly unfortunate.
As I was saying, it's hella early, but I have to point this out because this has never once ever happened in anything I can remember.
Mhm.
The Habs are leading in goals for with 29 so far. The next closest is 22 from both Toronto and Washington.
Wow.
Which I even like in my wildest dreams of like how I thought this season would start, this is way better than I thought it would. Like there's so much going right, but that's just still so weird for me to see. I know you always see Tampa up there, Mike. I got it.
Yeah, not this year. Yeah, not this year.
Are they not doing so?
How's your boy Stammer doing?
They're fine.
They're 3-1. They're fine.
They're 3-1. But
Yeah.
this last game was just, they were not good. They were not good
I think
this last game. Which
Columbus
is
is
fine,
just, it's a team that plays them hard. Like
They have-
you gotta
yeah,
win
Columbus
and then you
just-
lost one against them. I don't know.
Columbus just knows how to play. It's just, I don't know, something
But
about
you should be able to beat Columbus. So
yeah, something about the team is. They look like they have the Stanley Cup hangover. Is what's happening. They
yeah.
I haven't seen a lot of real good play out of them. Obviously, they smoked Chicago, but that's because it's Chicago. So
Yeah.
this is what
We
I
are
was
also-
saying.
We're at max like 6 to 7 games into the season for like the teams that have played the most. It's
Yeah.
very, very early.
Oh yeah, no, there's
Not much of
Yeah.
this might mean anything.
They'll
50
get
games
into it.
from now, but
They'll get into it. They'll get into it for sure.
Don't worry, we'll start.
it's
We'll
the
start
Jan-
talking about our teams once all of our teams make it to the playoffs, respectively.
It's the
Yeah,
January
yeah.
Blues.
We'll talk. Yeah, we'll talk about that when it sends Habs in the first round.
oh, that would be wait. They would
great.
have to be either the Habs would have to be first, and then Sens would be fourth, or why not swapped? Or they
somehow
would have
the
to be
two
second
middle
and
ones.
third.
Sens have a lot
I
of
can
work
see
to
it.
do to
I
do
can see
that,
it. I can see
considering
it.
they just
I
got
want it.
swept by the fucking Jets over the
I
last
think
couple
the
nights.
most realistic way that could happen would be Habs first, Sens
1 and
fourth. But
I want to see it.
that would be fun. I would enjoy that.
I want to see it.
If I didn't say it in the few episodes back when we were picking our teams for the divisions, I definitely think Winnipeg's going to be up there.
You did say it. I think.
Yeah.
Because you like
You know what?
Laine, but you like Laine,
I-
and now Laine is gone. So do you
I
change
like
your
Shifley.
answer?
I like
I
Shifley.
stand
I like
by
Shifley way
my
more than
senator's
Laine.
choice. I stand by my senator's choice. They are gonna get a spot.
I
I
hope
feel
so.
like they're gonna make a trade deadline move to make that team so much better.
Think Ottawa is?
Hot take.
You think
Yes.
Ottawa's gonna make a move
I
to make
only
them
have
better?
3 points. I don't think you're gonna do that, Nick. No.
Man, I hope they don't, because it's not gonna do anything.
It's just a hot take, boys.
We love them. We do love those here at the Fifth Line Podcast. We love our hot takes.
I like the sizzling
Yep,
ones.
and we're gonna end with a hot take. That hot take. I don't have another one. That sounded like
take.
I had
Hot
another
take,
one. All right. Thank you all for watching. Leave a comment down below. We love hearing stuff. We haven't heard anything yet, but we would like to. So
That would be good.
tell us something cool down in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.